They say the ocean hides both beauty and terror, and I learned that truth in the loudest way. My daughter slipped into the water that day, and my heart froze in my chest. The trainer jumped in, fighting to reach her before the waves pulled her under. But then the Dolphin did something so shocking, the entire stadium went silent in disbelief. My name is Daniel, I'm 36 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida with my wife and daughter. We've always been a simple family who loves to spend weekends exploring new places together. Our daughter, Emily, is 7 years old, full of curiosity and endless energy. She is the light of our lives, and we never imagined how close we'd come to losing her. One Saturday, we decided to visit a famous marine park known for its dolphin shows. The stadium was crowded, rows of seats filled with families, kids holding balloons and popcorn. Trainers in wetsuits moved gracefully by the poolside, while dolphins leapt into the air with dazzling splashes. Emily's eyes sparkled with excitement, pressed against the railing as she watched in awe. The show grew more thrilling with each act as dolphins spun, flipped, and sprayed water over laughing children. Trainers clapped and shouted commands, and the dolphin seemed to respond with joy. Emily giggled, pointing every time one leapt into the sky and crashed down into the pool. For a moment, everything felt magical, safe, and unforgettable. Emily leaned a little too close to the edge of the pool, ignoring our gentle calls for her to step back. Her small hands gripped the railing as she leaned forward, lost in the show. Then it happened in an instant, a slip, a stumble, her tiny figure disappearing into the blue water below. The crowd gasped, and my heart stopped beating. I shouted her name, my voice breaking, but my words were drowned by the roar of the crowd. People stood up in alarm, pointing and screaming as the water splashed violently. My wife clutched my arm, trembling, tears spilling down her face. All I could think was, "She's just a child, please God, not my little girl." One of the trainers dove in without hesitation, cutting through the waves with desperate strokes. The water churned as he searched below, but seconds stretched like hours. He came back up, shaking his head, crying out that he couldn't see her. My knees buckled. I was watching my daughter disappear before my very eyes. Then, like lightning, a gray shadow shot through the water, sleek and powerful. The crowd gasped again, whispers breaking out. Was the dolphin about to attack? The trainers shouted for everyone to stay calm, though panic was rising in every face. I felt sick, terrified that this would turn into another headline about dolphins turning dangerous. The dolphin surged toward the spot where Emily had sunk, diving deep below the surface. Seconds later, she rose again, but this time Emily was gently lifted on the dolphin's back. Her tiny arms dangled, coughing and sputtering, but she was alive. The creature balanced her, circling the water with care as if shielding her from harm. I rushed forward as staff pulled her from the water and placed her into my arms. Her body was shivering, soaked, her lips trembling blue, but she was breathing. I held her close against my chest, sobbing with relief I never thought I'd feel again. My wife collapsed beside us, whispering prayers of gratitude. The dolphin lingered near the edge of the pool, raising its head above water as if watching. Its dark eyes locked onto mine, and for a moment I swore it understood everything. It let out a haunting, melodic squeak that echoed through the stadium. Then, with a flick of its tail, it disappeared beneath the waves. Minutes later, paramedics rushed in, sirens wailing in the distance still echoing. They wrapped Emily in blankets, checked her breathing, and assured us she would be okay. Around us, the crowd was in shock. Some believed it was an accident, others called it a miracle. But I knew, deep inside, what I had just witnessed was something extraordinary. At the hospital, doctors asked again and again how she got pulled back up from so deep. They said the chances were almost impossible, that she should have been lost in those waves. I simply held Emily's hand, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "She had a guardian with fins." No one could argue with the evidence. My daughter was alive. Within days, headlines lit up across the country. Dolphin saves child during show. News crews called. Reporters knocked on our door. Everyone wanted the story. Experts debated whether dolphins truly understood what they were doing. For us, there was no debate. Our daughter had been saved by an unlikely hero. Weeks later, Emily begged us to go back to the park to see her savior again. Nervously, we agreed. standing at the same railing where everything had happened. She leaned forward and called out softly, "Dolphin, are you there?" The water rippled, and suddenly the same gray figure surfaced, circling calmly. The dolphin raised its head from the water, letting out a gentle squeak, almost like a greeting. Emily clapped her hands, tears in her eyes, shouting, "That's her daddy. She came back." I stood frozen, overwhelmed by the miracle I was seeing. For the rest of my life, I'll remember her, not as a threat, but as the hero with fins. Some call dolphins dangerous. Some call them wild. But for me, she was my daughter's savior, a guardian sent in the darkest moment. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Loyal Voice. Turn on notifications and join us for more true, emotional stories you'll never forget.